Hello, welcome to OnQA. In this session, we are going to talk about the JMeter first test script design and implementation. In the previous sessions, we have talked about the complete JMeter information, the functionality, the features, the implementation, the test plan, the workbench, and the elements of test plan. So by this time, we should have the picture of JMeter and the understanding what it is, how it is, and why it is, and what we can do with the JMeter. Now let's go and start the first script design and execution and the implementation with respect to the JMeter. So let's get started. So let me open up the JMeter first. And since we have the test plan and workbench, let's start with the test plan. And what is the scenario that we wanted to do? Let me just go and explain you the scenario now. So what I'm going to do and what I would like to explain you, I just wanted to navigate to Google. That is my first test. And I wanted to cross check when I open a browser and say google.com, when I hit, I should see the page loaded. Or when I send this google.com web URL request, I should see a response indicating the page successfully loaded. Let's say that is the first simplest example to proceed. So how do we test this? Or how do we create this scenario in the JMeter? To do that, now let's go to the test plan. And what is the first thing that we should do? We need to add a thread group. What is a thread group? Thread indicates thread is equal to user. Thread group means user group. When I click on it, a thread group is added. You can see the number of users, the number of threads. Let's say I wanted to run only once. I just wanted to check the first script. So my number of users is 1. Do you want to ramp up? Since I don't have many users, I don't need to worry about ramp up. And do you want iterate? Loop control or loop count forever? I don't want to worry about it because my scenario is simple. I wanted to open a Google page and see the response is rendered back. And then I would just go and name that instead of thread group, I would say this is a users, or I would say Google users. And then I would click on the Google users group and say add a listener or sampler. What is a sampler? Sampler nothing but a request. I wanted to create a request that would navigate to Google and say open google.com page. And how do we do that? Right click on the thread group, add sampler, and we are going to send an HTTP request. So we need to select HTTP request. And you can see it has got name, web server name or IP, implementation, protocol, method, parameters, body, everything. So let's not worry about everything because we have time to think about, time to learn about many things. So what I would do, the name, I would say, I wanted to say the name to be home page because I wanted to open home page. And what is that page? Basically, the application URL is HTTPS, and then we would say www.google.com. So this is the base URL. One beauty of the JMeter is we don't need to specify HTTPS. Just go and specify in the protocol, and we don't need anything. We can directly proceed from www.com. And what is the root path? The slash indicates this is the base root path. And what is get? I wanted to send a request, get, send a request and verify the response. When you wanted to do, then we should use a method called get. So I'm done. I wanted to create a first request on the home page. Where is that? On the Google. This is a request I wanted to send to the system. I'm done. When I move, you can see I have a request called home page where I wanted to navigate to google.com. This runs on HTTPS protocol, and the method we wanted to submit is get. And we are good. When I run it, you can see you want to save the script. Yes. What is the same? Let me just go back to main folder. I would go to the test and I would say Google users, save it and run it. You can see the green symbol here. It passed. Look at this border, the rightmost side. When I click on it, you can see the green symbol. But where is the status? You can see the green symbol, but where is the status? So to see the status, we need to add a listener. What listener? Let's say I wanted to add view results in table. So table is added and I would say instead of view results, results in table. Now let me again run it. Go back to results in table. You can see one sample. The start time is this, the thread name is this, the label, the sample time, status green indicating past, bytes, you can see the number of bytes generated, latency and connect to time. You can see average, deviation, latest to sample, number of samples. So you can see all the things. So this is one of the way to get the analysis, one of the way to get the report. This is the reporter called view results in table. Let me run again. You can see second one. Let me run again. You can see third one. It means that we have executed 3 times. And if you wanted to see only the latest results, you need to clear all in the JMeter. Now everything is clear. When you run, now number of samples executed 1. The start time is this. The thread name is Google users. What is thread name? This is the thread name. That's what you see Google users and you can see 1-1. It means that user 1. And why 1? Because in the Google groups we said only 1. If I said 2 there, if I come back and clear the results and run, you can see 2 requests implemented and user 1 of 1. It means that virtual user 1 execution, virtual user 2 execution, or thread 1, thread 2. Why 2? Because we set number of users or number of threads 2. That's what you can see. 1 of 1 user, 1 of 2 user. Google to search, Google user 1, Google user 2, 2 users because we specified 2 users to run the script. And what is this label? Label nothing but the request name. The request name we titled as home page. That's what you can see, the label, the request title. And what is that sample time? This is the time where it sent the request and gathered the response. The entire transaction time is 228 milliseconds for user 1, 422 milliseconds for user 2. On an average, it is 325 milliseconds. And what is the status? Green. Green indicates while we enter google.com, while we send this on the browser, we are able to retrieve the page. We are able to retrieve the results. That's what it says green. What is the byte? Total number of bytes generated during the request response is 125.17. And latency. Latency is the first byte generation time. While we submit a request, the first byte response generation time is 226 milliseconds. And the connected time, 159 milliseconds it took to connect to the server. So this is all about the simplest way to view the results report at this point of time. Let's not worry about in detail about each and everything at this point of time because we have lots of things to learn and implement. Now let me just go and clear, run it again. You can see 2 requests. Let me just go back and say 5 and clear the results and execute it. Go back to results. You can see 5 samples executed. User 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5. And what is the request? Home page is the request. You can see all the users executed home page request. And this is the total transaction time. And every request passed successfully because it got response successfully. The average time for 5 users to get the page loaded is 203 milliseconds. So this is the way we understand we implement, we design, we execute the first script. Now I wanted to get little more easier report. So let me just go and add another report. I would say results in tree. And let me clear the results and execute it once. You can see the tabular form because 5 users we specified in the results table, 5 samples, 5 users executed the same request and everything passed. And these are the transaction times and this is the average transaction time. If we go to the results tree, you can see everything is passed. And in the tree mode, we have request what we sent and the response what we got it. Home page, request and response. 5 requests we sent. And if you wanted to see in a HTML format, you can see there. Let me pick the HTML. So this is the page we got back. So this is the proof that we submitted the request to say google.com and the google.com page is successfully loaded. So this is the proof. And we don't need to cross check every time in the beginning to make you understand that we are able to send the request and the response is generated, and to show you the proof we have different modes of representation. Basically it runs with a text where we might not understand whether we got successful page or not. If you wanted to cross check the HTML version where you can see the browser page, the browser related UI, this makes you understand the request what you send google.com responded with a complete web page, with a complete Google web page. So this is the first script and there are so many things to learn about, but in the beginning to make you understand, we just submitted simple request to google.com and as we submit, we got the responses and the 5 users, the average transaction time is 210 milliseconds. And what is the proof? To make you understand, this is the web page retrieved. So we have so many other metrics, so many other listeners, reports, but at this point of time, the agenda or the intention is to know about how simple it is to create a test script, a request that can be sent to the server, and how it retrieves the response, and how it performs the measurement, how it calculates, how it represents, and how do we make sure that it is working to help you to understand that. So this is the simple example. So with this example, we would end up the first script and we'll go back and start again the second script where I would consider a functionality and then I would explain you how we can use it for effective, more detailed design and execution. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. So please visit earnq.com. So let me summarize what we have discussed in this session. In this session, we have concentrated and understood and practically implemented the JMeter first test script to design, execution, and implementation. To do that, we have created a simple Google page home page request and then we executed. We got the page back. When we run for 2 users, we got the response time. When we run the same for 5 users, we got the response. And to make you understand and to make you confirm, we also visualized the HTML representation. So this is the simple, easiest example to know, to begin with, to create a script and to execute and to understand the analysis with respect to JMeter. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. So please visit earnq.com. There are so many videos, presentations, articles, books, and PDFs with respect to automation, test management, performance testing, and functional testing. So thank you so much and see you again. In the next session, we would talk about the second script to design where we would consider a factor. How do we search in the Google? And as we search, it's a functionality implementation. And how do we make sure the page, we get a search results page? And for 5 users, what is the transaction response time? For 10 users, what is the transaction response time? First of all, how do we create a functionality script? Just like not just sending a URL, I wanted to search something. So how do we do that? and how do we execute, how do we measure. So once we get the clarity on this, then we would also talk about how do we record the script using JMeter, using third-party tools, and then we start implementing, learning, and understanding more about JMeter, JMeter implementation, and methodologies. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching the video. Please visit earnq.com. There are so many videos, presentations, articles, books, and PDFs with respect to automation, test management, performance testing, and functional testing. So thank you so much and see you again.